As the life I have is too much for me to process, to understand, to, yeah, I am on a search for trauma therapy. And in order to do so, I went to the Opferhilfe, just to brainstorm and to give me some ideas and how can I be helped in this specific situation. And yeah, I talked about those two traumatizing complexes that I became victim. I tried to pronounce it. Sometimes it feels it's hard, but then it feels that it's by saying it. I don't know if you can understand it, but by saying it, you deload a certain weight off of your chest. And I gotta train, it's my personal training to not, basically to psychologically do the right thing. So I said, I have these two complexes. The first one is the being a victim of incestual child molestation and inhumane levels of violence as a child and toddler and stuff like that. And the second is being a victim of violence that outside the family setting and having lies spread against me on Facebook which completely ruined my life. And this basically one of these two complexes is too much. It's too much. Yeah. And you can guess too, the really nasty, disgusting part is that the people spreading lies, they often have the same character traits as the pedophile rapists in my life, in my childhood. And they constantly, their faces, the way, their greasy facial, how to say, gestures, mimics. And I feel it that these two originally separate traumas have long amalgamated into an extremely complex, unsolvable mega trauma. And unfortunately, trust is not easy for someone who has been betrayed as a child already. And despite this, I managed to keep two friendships, which I specifically warned that my trust is easily eroded away, and there might be actions from my part where I try to break off friendships because there's this massive, gigantic subconscious drive for isolation, for being left alone. Because being alone for me is the only a situation where I feel truly, truly, where I truly have the potential for peace. Yeah, and it's it's sabotaging everything, everything, everything. You know, and I forgot one thing. Before I had this appointment at the Opferhilfe, I hyped myself a little. I hyped myself up a little. I thought, yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm doing something for me. I'm not feeling helpless anymore. I'm doing something. So basically, this is the only when I go to the police or to NGOs that help victims of violence or childhood trauma or something like this. These are the only very brief moments where I don't feel helpless. Because technically I am helpless. It's not just a feeling, it is a fact. And so I hyped myself up. I went there. I intentionally said this is gonna be a positive day. I'm going to the. It sounds very stupid, like some retard or something like this, and it's a little embarrassing. But I intentionally said to myself, okay, I'm going to the bakery now. I'm enjoying food to pump the day up. Yeah, to pump it up and to hype it up and just buy some snacks and then I go there and when I'm out I'm buying some more snacks just to give myself the maximum possible strength to get over this, yeah, and then go to the water and watch people do water sports or something like this, just give myself a sense of normalcy, whatever that means. I mean, even watching people doing normal stuff. When I walk around and I see other people, I don't know, like couples or a group of people doing sailing or anything, or skateboarding or whatever. It gives me a sense of, hey, these guys, they're not evil. They don't do any harm to others. And I intentionally digest this, take this in, to signal myself not everybody is bad once something bad happened to someone else. Not everyone is like that. And so I helped myself up and I went there. And just before I reached the appointment and location of the appointment, it dawned on me, this is going to be a very tough conversation. Yes, I did talk in these videos about this, and I guess it can't get any worse, yeah. But it's an understatement. It won't get any better. It won't. It is traumatizing to talk about the trauma, stupid as it sounds. It is completely rug pulling. It pulls your feet off the ground. It feels like a free fall without a parachute. Anyways, but I still went there and it was very, very stressful up until now, no matter what part of Germany I was located in, the people from NGOs or from the authorities or whatever, law enforcement, were always very nice and kind and very empathetic. And this helped me a lot to mm, not get panic attacks and stuff like this. But this time, this lady, there was nothing negative about this lady. She was wonderful. But her personality didn't, let's say it like this, it felt from my subjective perspective. Yeah, you have to know, it's just the way I see it. It doesn't mean that's an absolute uh, characterization that is valid for everyone. For me, at that moment, yeah, she talked very business-like. It felt very the voice, the vibe I got was emotionally relatively detached, very detached actually, and yeah, definitely cold. Yeah, and but she brainstormed, pronounced her thoughts, and how can I help and stuff like this. Yeah, this was completely okay, and there's nothing bad about this person, but the way she carried herself made me feel so much more stressed. Yeah, it was it was stressful. Let's keep it simple. Yeah. Anyway, so I went outside, and after the appointment, and I felt I actually did exhale once, in a very pronounced way, because it felt so draining. Yeah, so draining. And but I had my plan. I just slowly, without any hectic, I just go to the bakery and to the water, and just do go my rounds and absorb the people who, who just live their lives, and don't do any harm to any people, and just to feel this harmlessness. Yeah, harmless people. How weird does it sound? Like people who don't do any harm. They just they just live. You look them in the eyes, and you see they have something in their mind. They have their goals. What are they doing? Maybe maybe they're going home, and they just bought groceries and want to prepare some delicious meal for their family, something like this. These thoughts are the ones I intentionally have, because it gives me some sense of not everyone is bad. Many people just live their lives, yeah. And I sometimes fantasize about it. What would it feel like if I had such a life where violence is not a part of? I mean, right now it's just I'm being harassed every day, but it's not physical violence. So, but obviously it's still very stressful and panic attack inducing, and I'm sitting at home and yeah, trying not to think about it. And then I see these people, and I really like these fantasies. Yeah, just to imagine. What would life be like that? Yeah, no, no crazy stuff going on. Just no conflict. Absolutely no conflict. How does this even feel like? Yeah, I don't know. Somehow it gives me. I don't know what it gives me. Yeah, it was so stressful. And yes, so despite all of this trust that I barely can have, I still maintain 2 friendships. And one of them was recently here. And we were standing somewhere, I don't know, I showed him the region. And as good as it works, for example, I cannot enjoy museums because reading, it sounds so fucking idiotic. I can't, I really have to plan to read. Yeah, I get panic attacks from reading. And so I try to avoid stuff like this, but yeah, I showed him everything else. And suddenly, we were just thinking, and I just realized, I said to him, hey, if I'd been a teenager again, I mean, the time is skewed backwards for 2 decades, and someone would have told me that my life would be like this, I just blurted out, it just came out of my mouth. I don't think I would want to live. And it's just so. It feels so humanly disappointing, everything. It's just so humanly disappointing. You have. I don't think you can understand from the outside. You can't even fathom the intensity of emotions that constantly battle in your mind. It's like a constant alarm situation, almost since birth. At least as long as I can remember, there was war. Like this extreme emotional abuse, death, at least threat of death, harassment, terror, and I don't know, sometimes it feels like my life is like some sort of allegory of the Hades or something like this. I don't know. And then I don't want to have these thoughts, of course, yeah. And I just said to myself, okay, just stop thinking about that. Just watch SpongeBob or some stupid bullshit like this. I'm almost 40, it doesn't give me anything. At least it distracts me, so I give a fuck. And music works very well, fortunately. Music, food, And, just, yeah, I'm trying to sing. I'm not a good singer, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not for comparison. It's for me to distract myself, to pump myself up with at least some positive emotions. And it does seem to work. Maybe not always, but I take what I can get. Uh, the nastiness of the emotional situation is that I am terrorized from within by my PTSD from the childhood and this hate campaign, and from the outside by this lie campaign from Facebook, where unfortunately the neighbors participate extremely actively. And, you have this constant bombardment, yeah, of extremely negative things, yeah. Like from the outside, people who want to harm you, yeah, in what way doesn't even matter, but who want to harm you, yeah, who harass you, terrorize you, yeah, they lead a terror campaign, and from the inside, the terror from and you're just in between a hammer and an anvil, yeah. It literally feels like your head is in between a hammer and an anvil, yeah, or squeezed in a vise. And you just can't escape. It is like there's some I don't know, I just use this example, some deity that says you are not allowed to be left alone. I do not allow you to have a peaceful life. It feels absolutely like this. Yeah. I know, I moved through all of Germany and I have failed miserably to find a living condition where people would leave me alone. For 10 years, a decade of my life has been stolen from me because of nasty, disgusting lies spread on the internet, which are very creepy people are so convinced about to spread against me. Yeah? And it's just... It is so emotionally draining. And you can't continue with your life. Yeah. I mean, every day I wake up not because I got enough sleep or my alarm clock rings, but because my neighbors scream insults out of their window. Every day for 20 months. And before that it was the same for over a year, and before that it was the same for 10 years. And I still didn't get an answer what's happening on Facebook, what is happening. There is no action I ever did to anyone that would justify such an insane behavior. That it's literally a Facebook hate campaign, lie campaign. It feels like a propaganda war against a public figure. But I'm not a public figure. I'm not controversial. Yeah, I'm not a racist. I'm not a Nazi. I do not discriminate. In theory, there is no friction area. And I just don't get answers. Yeah? I just don't get answers. What's going on? Yeah? I never. As a child, I was a rowdy. As a child, I was really messed up. Yeah, I'm sure it didn't entirely stop with being 10 years old. It takes some time to this detach yourself from a child that is raped by the father. It takes time to be normal. Yeah, but I never. It feels like. I simply don't know. The thing is, they are so convinced that I'm a monster, literally. The neighbors, the children of the neighbors, none of them. I know none of them. I moved here freshly. Yeah, I know nobody. Yeah. In the children, they come here and basically there lives the monster, Ramona, and stuff like this. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there at home, and I don't know what's going on. Why is it happening? Okay. Now I know there's a Facebook hate campaign, and at least sometimes I hear people spread lies that I attacked someone in some situation, but I haven't fully. I couldn't fully find out what situation this is supposed to be. And from the other side of the information channel, from my side of the information channel, the only person where I can prove and witness that someone spread these lies was a neo-Nazi, a violent neo-Nazi, a criminal. And so I don't get the puzzle pieces together. Yeah. When I confront them, they completely deny everything. Yeah. Even though they insulted me maybe seconds before. I don't know what you mean. And then you leave, and then you tell me there's further away, and then they yell again. Ramona, Michael, hoo. It's really, and this is so weird. And I find it very, it is telling and humanly very disappointing how acceptable, sexist insults are. A lot of people they don't even realize it. Yeah, it's for a lot of people this might be normal. But name calling, intentionally misgendering someone, the motive behind that is to ridicule and to, maybe I gotta say the word in German, but no, but I'm missing the word in every language. It's basically ridicule, the insult is built on the concept that the woman is something that is, something less than being a man. Yeah, otherwise, they wouldn't use it as an insult. Yeah, and I'm so humanly disappointed that people really think this is a good idea. Yeah. And